Well, I'm back to the old grind. After my escape from Big Mikey, I was involved in a car accident. Brandy, my client, and I survived, but the poor sap Mikey's goons had stuffed in the trunk wasn't so lucky. That added a few years to his sentence. Brandy didn't do too badly in the accident. She had her seatbelt on and escaped with a few minor scratches and bruises. The public loved her when the story hit the papers, and she told the whole twisted idea to some film company. A hack named Jason Liquori directed the trash. Did pretty well, though, which was a good thing for me. The steering wheel crushed my chest. Being grateful that I had saved her life, Brandy paid my medical bills and got me some new wheels. Then she took off for L.A. to start her acting career. Now I'm back to the same old grind, babysitting some nut who thinks there's a monster under his bed.
Look at this place. It's a mess. When I travel on business, all I ask is that I come home to a clean house.
I work too, dear.
You had one paying job last month.
I'm a painter, an artist. You know, it's not always about the money.
You paint houses. You could have had a job at my firm, but you just had to paint houses.
I am an exterior designer.
Whatever.
There's a difference.
Okay, whatever. The point is, I support this household and you don't.
I'm sorry. I've just been so drained lately.
I wonder why that is.
What's that supposed to mean?
You haven't had any energy for me either.
I don't get it. You know, I go to sleep, I'm fine. I'm sleeping fine, but I wake up in the morning and I'm more tired than when I went to bed.
You know what? Whoever she is, you better be rid of her by the time I get back from this trip.
There's nobody else.
Look at me. I'm gorgeous. I'm young, and I'm rich. And when I go to these conventions to support your lazy ass, I am the only young, attractive female there. Do you have any idea how many men make passes at me? Point is, I am always, always faithful to you. Yet when I come home, you want nothing to do with me. It's obvious there's another woman.
It's these horrible dreams.
The ones where the sexy creature comes and saps your strength. Some nightmare. Look, I am committed to this marriage. So I'm giving you one more chance to get rid of that tart and come and ravage me like you should do every time.
That's where I come in. Smith wants me to prove that he's not having an affair and that a succubus has been visiting him. I get $500 a night to videotape the guy's sleep.
Wife's away, he has erotic dreams.
My work's done. Help me!
she gone?
I think so.
What was that, holy water? Acid?
It's just plain mineral water. I get pretty thirsty sitting in that closet all night.
Mineral water? What does that do?
Well, you know, I figured if hosing down a horny dog would work.
What do you think's in this thing anyway?
It's a body.
A body.
A mummy.
A mummy.
Yeah, you know, like Johnny Quest, Curse of Anubis, and Lon Chaney Jr. in The Mummy, gimp leg and all.
Stop it. Do the Mexicans even have mummies?
Aztecs! They're Aztecs!
Who the hell are you? What? How the hell did you get in here?
Obviously, I never left, you idiot.
You're an idiot.
You should have made that last week, idiot.
You're an idiot. I've been here longer than you. I outrank you.
I know some idiots. You are the biggest idiot I've ever known.
You're a stupid idiot.
Good advice. Too little, too late.
Let's see what we've got in here.
What are you doing here, Stewart?
I called in detective.
Ma'am, I appreciate that this is your museum, but this is my crime scene, and I don't appreciate private dicks in my crime scene.
I feel his particular area of expertise could be useful to us here.
Expertise? The man sees ghosts. He's crazy, nuts.
You try seeing what I've seen, and then call me crazy.
Vacate the premises, Stewart.
Now, Sharpness Saxon feels this man can be of help. He will be detective.
Sanders could tell that this guy was rich by his expensive suit, gold watch, and pinky ring. But he wasn't impressed. Most of the rich people he meets are drug dealers, gun runners, or crooks.
I trust her judgment. That's why the board and I hired her.
He took notice of that remark.
Of course, if you're still unsure, I can always ask the chief of detectives later on today when we play golf.
That impressed him.
Don't touch my crime scene. You stick looking for ghost slime or vampire teeth or whatever it is you do, stay away from my crime scene.
You, still forgetting to release the safety on your sidearm there, Detective Sanders?
What was that about his safety?
Just something from our academy days. So what was it you wanted to talk to me about?
Let's take this somewhere else.
Okay, you can go to my office. It's right around the corner. Have a seat.
You're an open-minded man, aren't you, Mr. Stewart?
Recent events have made me that way.
I'm going to tell you a story that some believe is just legend.
But you believe it's true.
I was hoping to prove it. Thousands of years ago, tribes in South America practiced human sacrifice. Some believe that by consuming the hearts of their enemies, they gain their power and strength. One warrior in particular brought this practice to new levels. He would gut his enemies in the battlefield with their hearts. Through this barbaric act, it was believed that he gained the power of the god Tezcatlipoca himself. In fact, some believed that he became the earthly incarnation of Tezcatlipoca. He soon rose to the seat of power in his tribe, and his tribe soon commanded all of the land they surveyed. The leaders of the few remaining free tribes decided to join forces to bring down the warrior. Being a god, he could not be killed, but they believed by draining his blood they would sever his earthly link and banish him back to his own realm.
That is a pretty tough story to swallow. What do the police think?
They think the mummy was stolen and the crooks killed one of their own.
That does make sense. Was the mummy valuable?
Priceless to science, but I can't imagine it being easy to sell.
Well, it's the harder stuff to sell that usually fetches the bigger price. I mean, it was probably a job for hire.
Will you take the case?
Sounds like the police have the right idea.
I thought you said you had an open mind.
I do, but I also have a lifetime of experience to tell me the simplest answer is usually the correct one.
Please, Mr. Stewart. If the police continue their investigation their way, I may never see the body of Texacopia again.
Did Sanders happen to mention who the third body belonged to?
I think I had him mention the name McGee to one of the officers.
McGee.
Do you recognize the name?
Yes. I do. I'll take your case, but I'm not going to interfere with the police. I don't want to mess with Sanders anymore.
Understood. Thank you.
You know, one of the boys at the precinct told me you drove this. I didn't believe him.
Are you stalking me?
Yeah, a little.
It was a gift from a client.
You're driving the station wagon, man.
After how I lost my last car, she kind of figured I needed something a little safer. You know, airbags, stuff like that.
So, you gonna take this woman's money?
I'm going to take the job, if that's what you mean.
I should arrest you for conning her. We both know that I got this case handled.
Do we really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then explain it to me, Sanders. How McGee, who was notorious for working alone, was double-crossed by partners he wouldn't even have. You need to clean up your act, Sanders. You need to get your shit together.
Here you go.
The museum's records indicated that the mummy had been delivered to the museum, but the rest of the exhibit was being stored in a warehouse, along with some old cars and weapons from other exhibits. I figured, mummy or crook, whoever killed the people in the museum would be back for the rest of the collection. Apparently everything except the mummy in that temporary exhibit was a fake. It's always the most unlikely solution in my world.
Testicopia. Stop right there!
I suppose I should have expected that.
Alright, just put the boat that... Ah, fuck it, you're supposed to be dead anyway. Aw, shit! Oh.
Shit. I don't know who this woman is, but something about the way she moves is familiar.
Well, that was no vampire.
Oh, it was a mummy.
A mummy?
Well, the earthly incarnation of an ancient god, actually.
So that wasn't a vampire?
No.
Well, what's so funny?
Well, you're surprised if I'm a mummy because you were expecting a vampire.
Well, the paper said they were draining blood.
Apparently that was this guy's M.O. Let's get the hell out of here.
So, do you need a ride?
Yeah, thanks.
How'd you get all the way out here anyway?
I walked.
Of course you did. You always take rides from strange men?
All I ever meet is strange men. Well, and women.
Besides, you seem safe enough.
And you'd know.
You're losing it, Lorna. He was the god of smoke and mirrors. I knew you were real. Thank you so much for this honor. The discovery of Tetsukopia's mummy will always be the high point of my career.
Apparently you're going to have some trouble billing her.
What happened?
Yeah, it was suicide. Or a very clumsy accident.
Suicide?
Yeah, apparently she stepped into a full tub with a hair iron. No sign of a struggle, and she wasn't a stupid woman. Maybe she was just upset about losing that mummy, huh?
Maybe the problem is she got him back.
What?
Never mind. Are you following me?
Yes?
No count of taste.
Let's talk outside.
What Sanders didn't mention was how Lorena managed to drain her own blood after electrocuting herself.
You don't believe that suicide story, do you?
No, but shouldn't you be off hunting vampires somewhere?
Well, I tracked 2 bloodsuckers to this town, but they'll be asleep till dark. Besides, I just wanted to know what you're up to.
Oh, that a client. I'm afraid I'm not up to much.
You can't let that go. I mean, you saw what that creature did last night. He'll just go and kill him.
Look, I'm not a monster hunter like you. I didn't get into this to save the world. I'm just trying to make a living.
I'm not out to save the world. I'm here to avenge my family.
I know. Vampires wiped out your family 700 years ago. You told me last night. You still didn't tell me how, if your entire family was wiped out 7 centuries ago, you managed to be around today. Although, I suppose if you're telling me this early in the day, at least I know you're not a vampire yourself. But, with my client dead, I'm afraid I don't have a case.
I will pay for you to continue the investigation, Mr. Stewart.
And you are?
I'm Miss Wayfeather.
That's right. I met your father at the museum yesterday.
My father is a huge benefactor for this museum. But the TT project that Lorena was working on is my personal project.
Really?
She's a professor at my college. I assisted with the dig, and I convinced my father to fund the exhibit.
And now you feel guilty about your mentor's death?
Well, I don't imagine she killed herself. Maybe, possibly it was the thieves that were looking for her for some reason.
So, you don't believe that it was the mummy?
I never believed that. But Lorena did. Maybe they used that against her in some way.
Maybe.
Will you work on the investigation for me?
I'll find her killer, and I'll stop it. I can't promise that I'll turn him into the police, though.
I'm not concerned on how you deal with him. Just deal with him and send me the invoice.
So, what do you know about mummies?
Not much.
Mummies seek revenge on those who disturb their tombs! Shouldn't one of us be guarding Miss Wayfeather?
No, she should be okay until dark. The undead tend to wait until the sun goes down to do their thing.
You're basing that on your knowledge of vampires. How do you know a mummy's going to act the same way?
No, you're right, we don't. But I'm sure a wealthy woman like Mrs. Wayfeather has private security.
Yeah, but they won't be able to stop this thing if it shows up.
Well, neither will we if we don't find out his secrets.
You're right.
Wait. Look at this. Okay, Lorena wrote here that Tezlicopia gets his powers from the blood of his fallen victims.
Yeah, she told me that. I'm guessing he was woken up by the blood of those shot guards.
Well, it says here that he was stopped by draining his blood.
Mm-hmm. They replaced it with the embalming fluid at the time.
So all we have to do is drain him of his new blood supply.
Somehow, this guy has managed to drain the blood out of 4 people. And now it's got armor and a shield that can stop bullets. How are we going to punch a hole in him big enough to drain all that blood back out without him getting one of us first?
Well, according to this, his armor and shield are mirrors with mystical powers. He can see the affairs of all mankind, and his shield then punishes the sinful with arrows.
Well, that explains how he's picking his victims. This still doesn't tell us how to stop him.
Look, I've got a date to keep with 2 old friends.
You're going to leave me alone with this?
Look, I'll try not to. All you have to do is keep an eye on Miss Wayfeather, and I'll try to catch up with you later.
And if you don't?
And you better be quick with that gun and aim around the armor. Look, all you have to do is make him bleed.
No problem. Make him bleed. Make him bleed. Make him bleed. That's all I got to do. Make him bleed. You've got me out of quite a few scrapes, but I'm afraid tonight you might need some help. When accuracy counts. Rich people don't get that way by wasting money. So when the feds put Big Mikey's house on the market, Sebastian Wayfeather snatched it up at a bargain. He wound up using it as a summer house.
Yes, sir.
Where's Miss Wayfeather? I need to see her right away.
And who should I say is ranting, sir?
It's an emergency.
It's okay, Johnson. Mr. Stewart's just doing some work for me.
Yes, ma'am.
You're in danger. We need to get you out of here. Another dozen or so shots like that, and this guy's going down.
Get away from my father! You heard me? When my mother died, my dad was crushed.
We don't need you!
Daddy's little girl got a problem with you. Stop.
I'm not letting you take my father from me!
This way, Feather.
You made it. I guess you took care of your other problem.
No, not exactly.
Who the hell are they?
My solution to our little problem.
Ooh. Oh! Well, that was brilliant, but what the hell do we do about him?
Just watch.
How?
Vampires can't digest blood that's been dead for too long.
But how'd you know they turn on each other like that?
Well, they're obviously sinners, and Lorena's notes indicated that the mummy would be compelled to punish sinners.
You're pretty smart.
You care to explain that?
Ah, it's just a flesh wound. Actually, when I had my accident, the steering wheel crushed my chest. They put a titanium plate in. I might need to see a doctor to get this out, though. You, seen Miss Wayfeather?
Wait, no. Last time I saw her she was heading for the road.
Maybe we better go check on her. You're pretty good at this kind of stuff.
Oh, you wait till you see me on full moon.